Hello, it's me, Shadow9000 here, giving you the Amazing Spider-Man review. Okay, the Amazing Spider-Man movie was very excellent and told the original untold story of Spider-Man. By the way, I think the lizard had to be well developed in this movie, and I think he was probably well developed. I kind of felt for the lizard. Actually, I felt for Dr. Connors in every way. I think Reese Fahn's performance as the lizard was amazing in this movie. By the way, Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, you pulled it off completely. Who knew? A fanboy of Spider-Man became Spider-Man, and now he has become the best Spider-Man around the world. And now Emma Stone pulled off Gwen Stacy was amazing. By the way, um, you want to know why Gwen's a scientist? If you don't know this, let me tell you already. When this film was being developed, they had two ideas. They were going to mix Ultimate with Spectacular Spider-Man TV show because Gwen was a science geek working for Dr. Kirk Connors. Okay, they changed a lot of things around though, but it's mostly Ultimate pretty much. Okay, well the movie told the story of Peter Parker as a boy. Towards the beginning, his parents went missing, and then many years later, as a teenager, he tries to find the truth. Well, He goes to Oscorp, where Dr. Kurt Connors works. Pretty much, he gets bitten. He gets bitten by the spider, pretty much, and pretty much Peter Parker is a total geek. And actually, I like him when he's in geeky mode because he's kind of very interesting though. Because Gwen, Gwen is so geeky and Peter Parker is so geeky because they pull off a good couple. I don't know why, but it's like when the girlfriend finds out who you are. It's kind of lame. In all the Spider movies, it was kind of lame and unpredicted. Well, in this movie, it felt good. The Peter Park, it felt good. That it felt natural that Gwen, that that the lizard, that that Captain Gwen Stacy know who Spider-Man was. By the way, the that made sense, and the story actually made sense. In the other films, it meant nothing to me. Pretty much everyone knew his identity, even the villains. That was just pathetic. In this movie, knowing Spider-Man actually makes sense. Knowing his identity actually makes sense. By the way, Gwen's relationship with Peter in the beginning of the movie is pulled off perfectly. The relationship between Peter and Gwen, the coupling is actually pulled off excellently. The couple in this movie are pulled off excellently. Flash Thompson was probably one of the interesting characters in the movie. Not interesting enough, but he's a good bully. He's a definitely good bully. The actor who played him, the best Flash Thompson. In never. The last one was stupid. He was only in one goddamn film. He wasn't even much of a bully. Only one scene. That's pretty much like that is it. But in this movie, he actually gets Peter Parker under his skin, and then pretty much when Uncle Ben died, I think this is probably the best Uncle Ben death probably ever. Well, that kind of makes me feel like a hypocrite for like repeats of deaths. But the actor that played Uncle Ben in this film is amazing. I actually feels when he dies. Pretty much, the scene was pulled off excellently though. There was no wrestling match. It was just at a store where he had to buy chocolate milk but didn't have money. Then pretty much, why should he care? Pretty much, it's like the same thing. When Uncle Ben is killed, it makes Peter who he is. He becomes Spider-Man because with great power comes with great responsibility. I can't. Well, Peter loses 4 people in this film. He loses a lot of people. I'm sorry. He loses his parents. He loses Uncle Ben, and he loses Captain Gwen Stacy. He has a lot of father figures in this film, and Peter Parker has been broke down emotionally and physically. By the way, the lizard in this movie is badass. His motivations are probably new already, guessing from the comic books. I never know he would probably use the serum. Pretty much, it's basically comic book formula in the original comic books. Anyway, pretty much, I thought the lizard in this movie was pulled off excellently. I thought the transformation from Dr. Kirk Connors to Lizard was excellently though. I felt like Dr. Connors wasn't the villain though. I think like towards the end of the film, I think he was being controlled by the lizard creature in himself. Pretty much like that, when the lizard talks, the creature talks, not Dr. Connors. When the lizard creature actually talks and actually controls Dr. Kurt, Dr. Kurt Connor's mind. By the way, this movie is so excellent, so good. I think the video game's okay. Pretty much, I think you should just watch the film and forget the video game. The video game's good, but the movie is so excellent. The story is so interesting, it's so well paced. Can you, if you know how long this movie is, can you please tell me? Because I'm kind of curious, actually. Anyway, pretty much, the untold story of Spider-Man was so interesting, though. By the way, I thought the costume in this movie was pulled off excellently and perfectly. I thought the costume was interesting, spontaneous. I actually love the costume in this movie. By the way, finally have a witty Spider-Man. In this movie, he breaks a lot of stuff with his powers, and it's so funny. There are a lot of funny scenes in this movie. Well, okay, Captain Gwen Stacy. Since they didn't introduce the Daily Bugle, since they didn't introduce the Daily Bugle, no one's actually against Spider-Man. So they thought of the cops. Pretty much, I thought Captain Gwen Stacy's performance, Dennis Leary, was pulled off excellently because I thought his character was so interesting it was so powerful in a way pretty much that his performance blew me apart. This is spoiler alert. When he died, I kind of cried because it looks like Peter lost so much people in the film. When he died, leave Gwen out of this. So pretty much after Attack on the Lizard at Oscorp, spoiler alert, you've seen the movie. Anyway, pretty much Peter and Gwen wants to be with Peter, but then no, Peter broke up for her because, guys, my dad made a promise to me. I don't know why, but for some reason, I think they combined two storylines. Well, one definitely tweaked. A little bit tweaked, though. Well, pretty much, it's probably the death of Captain Gwen Stacy with the Green Goblin thing. Well, I know they tweaked it a lot, though, pretty much, but I thought the story was so good. The story is excellent, though. Well, one thing is, though, is Mark Webb gonna return for the sequel? Well, pretty much, I thought the film was excellent, amazing. I give this film a 10 out of 10. Okay, now this is what I think about the sequel. In the video game, they show Albert Smythe, who's robotics. I think he might be the villain, or Dr. Octavius, Dr. Octopus, or another idea, or Oscorp. Norman Osborn's in the film. Maybe he's gonna make the Green Goblin formula. I'm just saying. Maybe he might make the formula like that made him go crazy in the film. Okay, that's one of my two choices as the villain. It could be Alfred Smythe or Dr. Octopus. Or in the video game, they do crush the genetics of the Rhino as Iguana and as the Scorpion. That might be my possible villain hints. If they're gonna go in that route, it might be interesting though. By the way, at the credit scene, they show Dr. Connors and I think Norman Osborn. The guy says, "Did you tell the boy about his father?" No. Leave Peter alone, and then he teleports out of the damn prison. Okay, I think that was just stupid. There's no way he could have gotten out of prison in that many nanoseconds. Pretty much, I thought the film was excellent. it was probably a brilliant, crafty storytelling arc. I felt for Peter in every part of the movie. The jokes, the jokes and his wittiness in the movie was probably the funniest thing ever. I really love the humor in this movie. I also love the story. I feel for Peter emotionally and physically way. Pretty much, I thought Andrew Garfield pulled off a geeky, sympathetic, realistic Spider-Man. Gwen Stacy, a geeky shy girl. I think she pulled that off too. Dr. Kurt Connors, a man who wants to help the world, and the men. He was a guy who lost his arm. I felt I think Reese's House performance. I think he blew me away. I think he was probably he's probably. I think he is villain, the Lizard, best villain ever. I have to say, best villain ever. Probably in the film. Well, I know we don't know many villains to come, pretty much, but I thought his performance blew me away. Dennis Leary, kaboom. Aunt May, awesome. Uncle Ben, that beats Dennis Leary's Captain Gwen Stacy. Peter Parker has a lot of faults in this movie. It's Cap and Gwen Stacy, and Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben changed him forever. Became Spider-Man. Then, kaboom. Dead. Cap and Gwen Stacy, kaboom. Changed him forever. That's it. He left Gwen alone. I have no idea. Are they seniors? It looks like Gwen Hinton that she's a senior, so I think Peter's a senior. I'm just guessing what I know. Anyway, pretty much, I thought the location shooting was amazing. IMAX 3D. Spider-Man was definitely built for IMAX. I thought the IMAX in this movie was awesome. I like when he was swinging half the time. The other IMAX didn't really make any sense. I felt like when he swung in the air, like towards the end of the film, that was IMAX Spider-Man. Pretty much. The visual effects of this movie were amazing. I thought everything in this movie was perfect. The story is excellent. The witty is awesome. The casting is excellent. The writing is brilliant. And the costume's awesome. And the lizard looks actually pretty badass. The one thing I complained though, where's his snout? His face kind of looks like a humanoid. I thought he looked like a big I thought he looked like a big reptile monster. I know, but he kind of looked looked like a dinosaur actually, except with no snout. That's all I had a problem with. By the way, I thought in this movie he was amazing. They really brought the lizard character awesomely, and I thought his design was based off Ditko's version. It's definitely Ditko's version, pretty much. The story was awesome though. I can't see anything. This film is so amazing. Jinx, pretty much. Amazing Spider-Man is one of the best Spidey films ever. It beats Sam Raimi's performance. It beats 3. It beats 2, and it beats 1. 3 telling the origin story was awesome too. This is me signing off. By the way, who do you think that might be the villain in the next movie? Maybe it could be Dr. Octopus, or Norman Osborn, aka Green Goblin, or Dr. Smythe. Those are my hints, and I got from the video game. Well, goodbye. I hope you enjoy my review pretty much, and stick to more videos. Remember, the untold story begins with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.